Once you start your vehicle, the Garmin device will activate. The Garmin device is directly powered by the Go device, so that makes sure you're never out of power when you're keeping the firm connection with the device. And you'll notice on your Garmin device that you'll see Geotab on Garmin, notifying that there is a connection there. There's two types of messages that will come to your Garmin. A stop, which will be indicated by the flag here, and also a text message indicated by the envelope. Now, clicking on the stop, I can see the stop that was sent as well as the route. You can see Tuesday Route 2 and how far each of those stops are on my route. And if I want to go to one of these routes, I can simply click on here and click on Go, and it will define the location and the route using the Garmin navigation. And let's get on our route. Once we have the Garmin connected to the Go device, we'll be able to communicate two ways with our driver. Now, there's a few methods within Geotab to actually message our drivers. From our live map, you can see our list of drivers under the status view, and you can also see the location. Within the drivers that are connected with the Garmin device, you'll notice these response option arrows here to define and send text messages. So if we want to send a text message to Dan here, we can simply click on send text message, and we can actually ask a question here: what time will you be back at the office? You can select the predefined response option here, or you can create your own response options here. And this is simply to make it easier for your drivers to quickly and safely respond back to messages. So we're going to send a message directly to Dan here. Now let's have a look at the message that was just sent to me. And click on that envelope here. The message was, let's have a look here, what time will you be back at the office? So let me just click on reply here, and you can see the response options have been nicely outlined for me. So I can just click on here 5 p.m., 6 p.m., or 7 p.m. So I'll just click on 5 p.m. Let's have a look at responses from Dan and what he sent back here. So going into the text messages, I can see a summary of all the text messages that have been sent to Dan, including the stops, including the text message responses. And when you do see a text message response, you can see one of the responses we've given is what time will you be back at the office? And you can see here what time the message was delivered and at what time and what he actually replied with here at 5 p.m. So you can see also the user that has delivered that message as well. Now let's say we want to actually also dispatch a stop to Dan. We might want to locate the closest driver to a customer location, and we can use a search box here to find and see who is the closest driver. So let's sort by closest driver here by clicking here distance, and we can see Dan is indeed the closest driver to this location. We can dispatch Dan to this location by simply clicking on the customer location here and clicking on dispatch vehicle here, and simply typing in Dan. Again, we can find it. We can even add a message here along with the stop location. And we'll have a look at how this stop is received on the Garmin. You can mark the jobs done by simply going to My Stops and clicking on the stop you want to mark job as done. Click on Edit Stop, Mark as Done, and it'll ask you if you really want to mark this stop as done, and you can click on Yes. Also, as you stop at these points of interest here, there will be a prompt that asks you to complete the job as you arrive at the destination. You may wish to also assign status messages to the Garmin device. Status messages are common response options that you can use to filter and sort on your live map. I'll give you an example here. Let's first start by assigning a response option with Dan. So we're going to go to Groups, and you'll see here GPS text messages under here. We're going to assign message statuses that we've created. that we want to appear on the Garmin. These are common response options that we want to receive back. You can see here, done, driving, emergency, working. So these actual text message response groups will be pushed to the Garmin, so they are defined status groups.
With regards to status groups, you will want to update your status groups as you may be in an emergency situation, as you're on a route or on a job. This is basically for your dispatcher to see the filter options on the map. So I'm going to go to my Geotab, click on messages, and the message statuses will be found under quick message, and that's defined under GPS text message status groups.
Status groups help us stay organized within our live map. To filter by the status groups, I'm simply going to click on map, highlight groups, and I'm going to look at the status groups I assigned to each of my drivers and their Garmin devices. So let's have a look at all the drivers who are in the done status groups. So the drivers would have clicked on done on their Garmin device, and you can see the system will highlight which vehicles are in the done status group. And I can simply filter and go into the different status groups by using this. And this again is from the Garmin statuses we set up